David Adler is a doctor. He also used to be the Australian Medical Association's Deputy Medical Secretary and is now head of the Australian Jewish Association. 2 weeks ago, he flew back from Israel and sent me at the time a text. He said, yes, Sydney Airport was a disgrace, basic hygiene rules broken everywhere. He can't actually blame the airport now, but because took 2 weeks, and it's 2 weeks on, that David and his wife have come down with the virus themselves. David Adler joins me. David, this is bad news. When did you first think you had the virus?
Andrew, I actually thought it was possible about a week ago. We started to get some symptoms. Yeah, it does fit in with the timing of the airport. And my symptoms are fairly mild. I've had a sore throat. I've had a little cough, not a great deal. And my wife thought that I had a fever one day. I'm not sure if it was so, then it was mild. In her case, she has a tendency to asthma and has triggered asthma. Now, because we were obeying the rules and we self-quarantined for the 14-day period, it was only on the 15th day that we actually left home and I arranged to have a test. And last night we were phoned by a pathologist from the laboratory to say that the test was presumptive positive. That means that one of the indicators of coronavirus, of COVID-19, showed up. They look for a potential 3. So it's consistent with the pattern. It's consistent with having been exposed to it at Sydney Airport. That remains our not certain, but probable source.
What did you see there that alarmed you?
Well, this was revealed for the first time on Sky News Outsiders, and as soon as we came off the plane, as you walk through customs, there must have been a few aircraft that arrived at the same time. It was an absolute shambles. We'd been through a number of airports, and by far the worst was Sydney Airport. It was crowded. There were perhaps somewhere between 700 and 1,000 people filling the custom arrival hall, standing shoulder to shoulder. The queues went as far back as the duty-free shops. It took about 3/4 of an hour to an hour to pass through customs. And through our whole travels across the world, this was the only time we felt at serious risk.
David, you've looked at all this, you've contrasted, you've seen how Israel has dealt with it. You've obviously, as someone from formerly with the AMA, you've looked with a close eye on Australia. How do you think Australia's handled this? I mean, on the one hand, we've had just 40 deaths, so we must be doing something very right.
Look, I think there are some things we've done right, but there have also been some massive system failures. One international one that needs to be called out a lot more is the World Health Organization. As far as mid-January, after the coronavirus had started spreading out of China, they were defending China and saying that there is no human-to-human transmission evidence. Now, we, of course, know that to be completely false now. It is a highly contagious disease. Had they taken a different position, and I actually think the Director General of the World Health Organization has a lot to answer for, and his background needs to be looked at in his relationship with China. This has caused a lot of problem, and Australia could have acted sooner. Obviously, the cruise ship problem has had a lot of publicity. Sydney Airport, and not just the airport crowding that I encountered, but there was no special precautions for transporting people who were ordered to go into quarantine from the airport to their homes. I mean, most people just took taxis or rideshare or public transport, and I got chatting to our driver, what if the previous passenger was infected or I'm infected? What are you going to do? No idea, no information. Now at least we seem to have been playing a bit of a catch-up game, but catching up. And I think right now the provisions that Australia has taken has certainly had a significant dampener on the effect. And I I think it is legitimate now to raise the question. We should be planning for a relaxation of some of the restrictions.
David, I've said that too. I think that is high time. You need an exit strategy, and I've seen no sign from the government it has one yet. Maybe it does, but I think we should be clued into what it is. David Adler, you're 73, so I worry for you.
63.
All the best.
63.
You're looking 63. Sorry, 63. You're quite right. I don't want to add. You look 63. I was going to say how young you look for 73, mate. Thank you so much indeed for your time.
My pleasure. Thank you.